Hello, this is Kevin again from Veroneau Consulting Services. In this video, I am going to show you how to use the export function from the project manager system. I just like to emphasize I don't like lock-ins myself when I'm logged into a company, and I'm sure no one else does either. So if you don't like my services and you wish to take the project elsewhere, you can definitely do that with Veroneau Consulting Services. And this video is going to demonstrate how to do that. So from this page here, when you get to your, well, actually go here first. My connection is going to be a bit slow right now due to the fact that I'm uploading the previous video. So just give it a few moments because it's not going to be very fast. It's going to be very slow. Okay, well, I won't bother going that far then in the process. Okay, so what's going to happen is you just click onto home and you click onto your project's name, and then you should appear in a page like this where it says project manager, and then the name of your company, and then the project type, and then all these icons will appear here. Now in the URL bar, this is how you export everything. You type in export.zip and press enter. Because my connection is slow, this is going to take a few moments, and then you'll get a box like this, and then you just press save, and it should be done quickly because this demo project is quite small. So, and then I want to show you exactly what's inside the export file here. This is the export file here. This is everything that you get, and you get quite a lot considering. You get a links file, which basically has all the external links. I'll go through all these files quickly just to kind of show you. This is the external links, which gives you an HTML file with all the links. You can click on to the links that are generated, which in fact this one goes to the Python diary. This here is a recreation of this page here. If it loads right now, because my 9 minutes until the video is uploaded. Okay, so it'll load in a few seconds, but yeah, that's the links right there. Then we have a quote detail. You click onto this and you'll get the quote detail page. If you watch the previous video in this set, then you'll kind of understand where all this information is coming from. The quote detail. And then the requirements file, which is the requirements file for pip. Then you have the readme file, which explains everything in the zip file. It explains the bugs, it explains the metadata, it explains everything else. It automatically generates a lot of data for you. It generates a models pie, a forms pie, admin pie, and then it also generates Windows compatible URL shortcut files. So you can actually just double click these .url files in your Windows computer and it'll open up in your preferred browser. And then your invoices are also displayed as well too. Your invoices are exported, and you have your notes that are exported as well. And then the notes for each type of project code, and then the UMLs are also exported as well, and then all the work orders to the date, and links, code detail requirements, and then a script that lets you set up scripts that let you set up the development environment are also included. I'll go through those in a few moments with you. So let's first go through all the folders in order here. So we have the bug, we have the metadata. Here we have the metadata, which explains the bug number, example bug, and the bug information. And then the actual bug information, if you open these text files, we'll have all the bug information that you saw earlier on the site. It exports everything into nice text files for you. So you can give it to your new developer, and the new developer could easily get going as quickly as possible so there's no delay in your project. And then even these are created too, just in case. This creates a perfect admin file that can be used. This creates a model form. These are all dynamically generated from the database file. And just to fill in these informations in that too. But these will never really be needed. These are just here just for the sake of, I don't know, I just wanted to put them in there. But these shouldn't be needed for a new developer because these will already be created in your project itself. And then the favorite files, which has the URL, which works in Windows computers. Yeah, okay. And then you have the invoices. You click onto the invoice here. You have your invoice created on, the amount, the date, if it's paid or not, and the itemized work order and the itemized information there. Then we have the notes, which is these are the example notes that were provided. They're in HTML format, so these can be provided to your new developer as well. Your new developer will immediately see these. See, example note. And then these are documentation files. They're both in Markdown format, and they're also rendered in HTML2 for convenience, for easy access. So you have access to. If you watch the previous video, you'll see if you would have seen all of these inside the project management website, and how all these were created and things like that. So you can kind of get an idea on how all those work. Okay, and then we have the work orders. Work orders is the example work order, then we have the example log. Most projects will have more than one log, and it explains the work log name, the time started, time finished, total time, revision, the subversion revision, and everything else. Then the work order details, which is just the text file that explains the full work order details. And then the other one is the same exact thing. And here are the scripts here. I will open this with KWrite. This is the first script that is run for a new developer. They run this on a Debian-based system, or it should also work on Ubuntu too, but I have not tested this on Ubuntu, but it should work definitely on Debian. I'll make another video that actually demonstrates how to run these and how to create a dev environment for any new developers can get up and running as quickly as possible. So here we have apt get update. It updates all the repositories, make sure it's the latest. It actually explains what it's doing up here too. Performing system upgrade, in case it was neglected. Then it installs a bunch of required packages that is needed. And then after that, you run dev environment sh as your normal user. So go here, and then we have the dev environment. This is a much longer script that does a lot. That does quite a lot more. So we're going to go through this quickly. The project name is up here. This is actually grabbed from the subversion name, which will be completely different. And also, if your source code is stored on our on the Veroneau Consulting Services subversion repository, you won't be able to easily do the SVN export checkout command done in here. It will not work properly. Everything else will work, but that won't work. You'll have to basically request a copy of the subversion repository, which you can install somewhere locally, and then just modify this script and change this to the location of where your new subversion repository is being stored. Okay, let's go up here now, and these are just various colors for notifications for when the script is running. So it'll check for a PIL installed outside virtualenv. So it'll try and import the image module. If it fails, then it will go error. And it'll warn you that you completely neglected to run apt install sh, which is this script right here, which you have to run before this script, or this script won't work. And then it'll tell you to run what to do and this and that. Okay, and then it'll create the virtual env for project env. It'll call it project env. And it'll create it, then it'll check for the PIL inside virtualenv. If it's not there, then it'll tell you PIL was found installed distribution-wide, but isn't in the virtualenv. Checking Debian version to see if this script is meant to be run on Squeeze. Since Wheezy was just recently released, my current development environment is still under Squeeze for my main system. My laptop is Wheezy, so I will be upgrading these scripts eventually to properly work. But this does the checks for Debian environment, and then tells you complaints about Squeeze, and then basically fixes it. It'll actually patch the virtualenv to include the Debian PIL, because there's no point in installing PIL from pip when you can just use the Debian one. which works perfectly fine for development purposes. So it basically does everything it has to do to fix the problem, and then we go down here, and then it just says, tells us glad it's over with, and we go installing Python packages into virtual env. This is where it installs the requirements text file, which is basically right there. Okay, and then it installs some packages only required for development, which is WI toolbar extensions and this. And then it just does a double check for the PIL, just to make sure. I haven't had a client before where they used this script and they were just having some issues with PIL getting to work, so I kind of had to make so many double checks. And then it just does a few things here and makes sure PIL works. And then if it absolutely cannot get PIL, then it actually does a manual install, because it's going to give up at that point. It's not going to try to do it any other way. And if we continue down here, it's going to do the clone of the Bootstrap project. This is done for every project regardless. I try to if I create a Bootstrap-based website, then I do try to use my own Bootstrap theme rather than reinventing the wheel every time. And it basically fails if there's no networking, right? And then it tells me to check and reinstall, blah, blah, and this and that. Okay, keep going, and then it does the checkout for the revision. This should be changed to point to the correct revision location if you plan on using the script, or just ignore the errors that appear. And then here we go entering project directory and initializing development environment. This is where it does lots of other stuff. It links in the Bootstrap theme. It does a syncdb, migrate, and it loads data, which is a development fixture, which allows stuff to be configured quickly and easily. And then we run a dev, and if a script is called devhook, which is inside the subversion, then it found a development hook, and then it'll execute that script and run that, and then it'll run the server. And basically that's it. The server is your local development environment is at that point set up. And I want to create another video shortly that's actually going to go through this entire process and actually work with this and explain how all this works, and to show how a new prospect developer would actually get a hold of the project and work on it. So yeah, that is the export.zip. And thank you again for watching this video. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.